Hey guys, so I've had some people ask me mostly about battery banks recently and which ones to get for the Switch. Now, I've had some experience with them. I've actually had at least 2 or 3 in the past. I know I remember I ordered one specifically for a trip to Florida, and I used it for my Vita, and I was able to use it for my 3DS using a USB charger to 3DS port as well. Fortunately, now that the Switch is coming out, they will then be switching obviously to a more widely accepted USB-C adapter, which is great because USB-C goes to USB perfectly. There's even some battery banks that actually have USB-C on it. I also want to talk about basically with battery banks, there is a big saying with this. Obviously, you get what you pay for. It's no different with battery banks. Make sure you check all reviews. I'm going to give you a couple here to look at, but make sure you check all reviews specifically for how much charge you actually get out of it and the amount of amperage it actually puts out at its USB ports, because some of these guys, especially if you buy a very cheap one, the first one I bought was obscenely cheap because I figured, it's going to be used once. They should be the same, right? They all just charge from a battery. No, they are all very different. There's a few companies that are really good. Anker is one of them. That's one I stick with mostly because I've had good experiences with the 2 I bought after the cheapo one I bought. And just make sure, we do know the battery size now for the Switch, so we know how many charges we can get out of, say, a 10,000 milliamp hour charge as opposed to a 20,000 milliamp battery, and so on. And if you're not sure what a battery bank is, very quickly, all it is, basically, it's just a battery encased in plastic that has an adapter that basically has it go to USB, USB-C, quick charge ports. It's just a battery in a casing that you can then use to charge your devices. So the first one I'm going to show you is an Anker Astro E3 Ultra Compact 10,000 milliamp hour battery. And this is a battery that won't break the bank for you, and it's a good brand. You can check all the reviews on Amazon. Again, the link is in the description below. It gets a good charge out of the 10,000 milliamp hour battery. I have no doubt you'll be able to get 2 solid full charges from the Switch. And because it does have at least a 2 amp charge port on the side running USB-C, you can more than likely play your Switch while it's charging and the battery power will not go down. It'll probably stay wherever it is. So if you're at 60%, it'll probably just remain at 60% while you're playing. So as long as you have this kind of tethered to it through the port, kind of sitting next to it, let's say you're on a plane, you have the battery bank sitting next to it on like the tray, you're fine. You can continue playing. The other thing I really like about this one is it uses something called PowerIQ, and it's something that they have trademarked and developed where basically what it does is it mimics the original device's charger. So it will basically talk to the device and figure out what, or at least how, for example, the device charges from the wall. If it's an iPhone, for example, it uses that Apple Power Brick, or if it's an Android phone, maybe it's a Samsung one, it uses its own proprietary Samsung brick. This will basically talk to it and figure out what the best method is to charge it, and then it will charge it as fast as it possibly can with its output. You can also take a look here. It also says short circuit prevention, which should be, to me, standard across all of these. And it stabilizes output current, which is great, so you won't have dips or random drops in the current, as long as, of course, the battery is not getting dry. I do like the slim form factor of this one. This is great if you're traveling a lot. You just want to be able to slip something into like a side of like a book bag or something, or even into the side of like a travel bag. This will fit perfectly because, remember, as we get larger batteries jammed in these things, they are going to get larger, they're going to get thicker, they're going to get basically become like little bricks you're carrying around with you. So this one's great if you know you're not going to need to charge your Switch more than twice, or if you're on maybe like, let's say, a 6-hour to 7-hour flight. This would keep you going the entire time because we have a 3-hour charge on the Switch. Obviously 2 more charges would get you to 9 hours, so you'd still have a little bit left over. The next one up is a little more expensive. Like I said, as we kind of go up with features and everything, they become more expensive. I like this one in particular. If I do get one, which I said I'm not really going to travel with my Switch much, but if I do have a trip coming up, let's say I'm going out to, like, I don't know, PAX or something, or if I ever get invited to E3, this would be the one I would get, only because it has a few features that I like that I think would go well with the Switch. So the big one, obviously, you're going to see here, it's an Anker PowerCore Plus 20,100. That's the milliamp hours that it would be. So you would potentially, I would assume, get 4.5 charges out of this. What's really cool about this one, though, is it does have a USB Type-C charge port, which would then, you'd be able to run USB-C to USB-C, because keep in mind the Switch is USB-C, so you can do that and it would probably charge better. It'd be more akin to like how it would charge from the wall because it is running just native USB-C between them. It of course has that very large battery of a 20,000 milliamp hour battery, so it would run well into the night if you're playing for a while. Maybe if you have an overnight flight or something like a red eye, this would work perfect. Also keep in mind, this one is actually designed to charge larger devices, which is great because the Switch probably won't need to pull as much power as this thing can put out. So you don't want to have to stress your battery bank if you don't have to. This one is even designed to charge MacBooks that charge off the USB-C type. So this thing should have no problem pushing power to the Switch. What else is really cool about this device, it actually comes with some cables like USB-C to USB, so you don't have to buy that extra cable. It also has USB-C to USB-C as well, so it comes with 2 cables. But yes, that's the Anker PowerCore Plus 20,100 milliamp hour battery. I like this one. This is probably my safe medium here. This is the one I would probably get. Like I said, if I ever get invited anywhere and I need to take my Switch with me. And the last one I'm going to show you guys today is an Aukey 30,000 milliamp hour portable charger. It does also use Quick Charge 3.0. I want to touch on this very quickly. A lot of people are concerned that Quick Charge may not work or could damage your Switch. Unfortunately, at this point, we just don't know. I don't think it would, although there is a chance that Quick Charge could push too much power to the Switch because Quick Charge is technology that helps power move along faster. It does say in a lot of the manuals for Quick Charge to not use Quick Charge on a device that is not able to use or is compatible with Quick Charge. We still don't know if the device, the Switch in particular, is Quick Charge compatible. We saw the 3-hour charge time. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not Quick Charge compatible. That could mean that it can Quick Charge so much and then the back half is very slow. Again, we'll know more when we get there. However, this Aukey 30,000 milliamp hour battery, good reviews on it. It's not the Anker batteries that I like, but it's still a good device. This is for if you're going on a long trip. And I mean, like, you're going to be gone for a while. You want to make sure you can charge your Switch several times throughout the week, for example. So 30,000 milliamp hours will get you quite a bit with your Switch. If you look at it from a standard perspective, it'd probably get anywhere from 6 to 7 charges, which if you're going to play your Switch about 3 hours a day for a whole week, that would actually get you a charge every day if you needed to when you're playing portably, if you're away from the wall. Maybe if you're going camping or something for a while, this would work fine. It's a little larger than the other ones I showed you. And again, the bigger the battery, obviously the more space it's going to take up because they're just jamming more power cells in there. But overall, this is a good one. If you do have devices as well that support Quick Charge, maybe you also have an iPhone that uses Lightning. This actually does have a Lightning cable out and Lightning cable in. You can also charge your iPad or your iPhone or your Android phone while your Switch is charging, which is really cool because it does have 2 outputs and inputs. Yes, guys, those are all my battery banks I'll show you. Really, as long as you pick one that is decent quality, please read the reviews. Please read the reviews. So many people get really in depth with this. They check power current that's going through from the wall. They also check power current that's coming out of the device. And really, it's worth doing your homework on these. Don't make a bad buy on a battery bank because you will regret it when you're on your trip and you realize that this bank that you bought is not good. So make sure you do the math, and we know it's a 4,310 milliamp hour battery in the Switch. All you need to do is take that. What I would do is when you look at a battery bank, take 10% off of the top of that because I'm going to be honest with you guys, manufacturers, they lie about this stuff sometimes. You will not get that full 30,000, that full 20,000. You won't get that full amount. You'll usually get 10% of overhead, take off of there. That's your actual charge space as long as it's a good battery bank. But yes, guys, all those links are down in the description if you just want to check them out, do some research on Amazon. Some of these are actually Prime shipping, so you can get them pretty quick. What I'm going to do probably when the Switch comes out, I'll buy a couple of these and I can actually check them and then tell you guys which one is, as far as I can tell, the absolute best and most compatible with the Switch going forward. Thanks, guys, for watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you tomorrow morning for Newswave.